Hello everyone, this is Lazarus and today we'll talk about the DreamFest Levin and DreamFest Nitta hidden abilities. Finally the day has come when Red Euro can celebrate the return of a once great player in their team, and that's DreamFest Levin, and he gets hidden ability. Well, not so much. Caleb, when we say that you should have changed the passive more often when adding hidden ability to old characters, we don't mean replace them with one of his hidden abilities. We can just say that he still has skill killer passive and be done with it, even though it's a hidden ability now. He got pedal to metal 12% because he would obviously be too OP if it were more. Stats up 1% to World Youth because, you know, 2% to Red Euro or 2% to World Youth would just be super DreamFest Tsubasa crazy. Skill killer is still 10% because why give this guy a mid area master or Red Euro link or at least World Youth link or something? It just had to be skill killer. The last one is auto intercept 50% because, you know, anything more than that would be bonkers crazy. I posted on our Reddit in-game values in my 49% Red Euro team with 9% hidden abilities, and I'll leave the link down below so that you can see it and analyze how would he look in your team if you were close to that numbers. But first watch this video and then go there. His stats are very balanced, and just by looking at it you can see that the most powerful move will basically be the one that has most momentum. His shot is the highest, but you would just ignore that and look at other values because he's just too weak to score on any of today's meta keepers and even the worst of them, and it's just stupid to take yourself one more skill spot since his main skill is a bad 440 momentum shot. His dribble and pass are almost the same at 40k and 42. His tackle is 44k and with no buffs, and by the way that is weaker than that new Asia qualifiers regular gacha Izawa. And his intercept is basically saved to be a tad stronger than tackling just because of his better momentum intercept skill. Talking about his special skills, to get this kind of Levin you need 5 other Levins, so that's just awesome. 5 dupes of Levins to enable this character, and I'm not talking his special skill in shot in considering there because you don't need it, and you have 4 spots for special skills. By the way, Caleb did say they will add 1 or 2 more spots to special skills, which will be awesome, but for now it's 4. You would choose dribble, pass, intercept and tackle special skills, so you really need 4 other Levins, but whatever. Almost every out of those Levins are better than this one, 3 of them actually. After you activate his both passives, he's good at tackle and really good at intercept considering his defensive abilities, and mediocre in dribble while being slight below average at passing. So he basically has a shit ton of stats thrown where you won't use them or benefit from them. He got 300 stats boost to everything, and I don't understand if they basically designed him like a DM or AM who is better at defending. Why didn't they just give 100 to tackle and intercept and like 300 to speed and technique at just whatever at those other stats, because you don't need them. That would save him a little bit, but not much, because they really screwed up by leaving skill killer instead of giving him like mid area master or full body stand. Either they didn't want to even think about it, or they plan to release another Levin on Super DreamFest, so they want to make you pull for him, but we will see that in the future. I don't know. Seems to me like everything they gave him at first was cut in half, and we basically got this average unit. Some DreamFest units got very specific hidden abilities, so they can actually achieve great levels in very specified team. But this Levin basically has a better version in literally every archetype you would play him. In World Youth there is a recovered Burning Spirit Levin, who gives, by the way, 5% to every Swede. Super Solidarity Red Euro there is Club Levin if you wanna buff your Kluivert and buff his high shot, and in pure Red Euro there's DC11 if you want to have great chance, better chances in passing the ball, dribble or whatever. This guy reaches his highest heights in full power football against skill players, so kind of makes sense for him to be on the bench, and if you are playing skill type team you would put him in and activate full power football and then get the most out of this guy. But there's still better options with Dream Collection, Cleanspan and DreamFest cards on the DM position for Red Euro. So whatever you do with him, in whichever team you play him, he is just average and pretty hard to activate. And the worst thing is his passives are not dependable on you and your style of play. It entirely depends on the opponent you play, and that passives or hidden abilities are the worst, because that player just a bench player really, and he just comes in when you are against skill players, and that just sucks. For DreamFest Levin, and important character, he just deserved more than to be a bencher, a bench warmer. If you look at his stats against all other players just in full power football, he would look like this, and a tad weaker against skill players out of full power football. He can be outplayed by literally every possible meta midfielder or forward today, so you would not use him in the highest spectre of the online PvP. Even that limited cards is better than him at defensive jobs, with half of his stamina left at this state. And I'm not saying that cards is bad, I'm saying he has better alternatives, and this guy has them too. One thing that could save this guy, other than mid-area master or team link or full body stand, is at least 100% auto intercept. But he got that shit cut in half too. So basically this Levin is the Levin we all wanted so bad for so long, and we got him, but he's cut in half. For a DreamFest version of a main player of Sweden, this is just not good enough. When you count all in, he is just mediocre and a serious contender for the worst hidden ability given to a DreamFest unit yet. Okay, let's talk about Nitta now. Great team skill, like I said a couple of times before, not so much now, but when Japan gets enough buffers to completely remove Roberto out of the picture, it can be really scary. There will always be a great OP Japan player in this game, and you can play him whatever and don't worry about the team skill. Passive skill is still Insight Master, and that's great, but I would like to say that right at the start, this guy will not be your scorer, but a wing forward helping your main forward or attacking midfielders to score. His passive can't be activated versus goalkeepers, so keep that in mind. Maybe someday if club implements goalkeeper dribbling option, then this guy could be very much better, but still depends on how that algorithm would work, so let's just forget I said anything about it and move on. He has dribble range enhanced 2.5, and that works great with his team role, and stats up 7% means all forward including him will be 7% faster than they would have been if he wasn't there, and that is great. He's pretty fast too, even without that hidden ability, so now he will be really fast. Fast enough that you can just run around some defenders even without a matchup. That's what I do with my Gillies sometimes. Need some practice, but it works. Plus he has 50% auto intercept, and while his intercept is not so high, it's gonna be high enough to give a huge headache to defenders trying to get rid of the ball. This starts on alright with passive activate for the moment, shows how would he look if his passive is activated, Insight Master. And I will just switch to full power football 5%, only that when we'll talk about Insight Master later. And it doesn't look so good, to be honest. You will be easy to deal with by meta defenders if you are not good at guessing your opponent's move or reading the game. But if you are good at reading the game and outsmart your opponent often, then this guy can really do some good for you in the pressuring your opponent. These stats at tackle and intercept means that your opponent defenders and some midfielders are screwed with him in the matchup. On the other side, his dribble and pass have a great difference between them, and here is when the problem starts. This guy can be stopped by today's side defenders that are tacklers, and because he doesn't have a strength pass, his total strength on pass is not good enough to not get bullied, even with Insight Master. So your opponent will just tackle the shit out of this guy, and while he's trying to pass and his dribble without Insight Master is not good enough. And basically if you dribble a tackler, he will just take the ball from you. So you will just find yourself often shooting the ball when you absolutely know that your opponent will take your ball. Okay, so we are back to stats on passive active with Insight Master. If you are in full power football, total strength rises in everything about from 1.5k to 2k, so that and crit should be enough for you to beat some tacklers, but not many. If you pass, that is, against them. If you dribble, you're screwed. Against a good tackler, that is. Now, even some interceptors can take the ball from this guy with their tackle skills, but you have way more chances to keep the ball while on attack with this guy if you are matched up against interceptors, because his pass should be good enough to get past some interceptors trying to tackle, but again, not many of them. If he gets an S pass, let's say 440 momentum, 51k. And that's great. If you win a matchup, that will be good enough to not get bullied often. But whatever you do, if you have the ball with this guy, try to get matched up against only one player. Because all Insight Master players really are fucked if they are matched up against more players than one in attacking aspect of the game. I feel like this problem could have been solved if Club decided to give this guy 50% Insight Master, so a little bit of a bump there. But like this, he's not so good on attacking aspect of the game as he is on putting the pressure on your defenders with his good enough defensive capabilities to win most matchups against them and some attacking midfielders or defensive midfielders. I would limit break him on dribble, speed, pass and technique. Why not intercept, you say? Well, because his intercept is strong enough to deal with most defenders and you will need as much help as you can get in the passing aspect of this game with this guy. But all in all, this guy will do the job he is designed to do and do it well, and especially when he gets an S-rank pass while Levin will just be mediocre. By the way, limit break for Levin would be 60, 16, 18 dribble, tackle speed and 70, 70, 16 on pass, technique and intercept. So that would make sense because he is so well balanced. You could limit break Levin pass, technique, intercept and speed 25 to make the most out of his intercepting abilities, and that would probably make more sense if you are going to play him in the defensive midfielder area. If you want to play him in the attacking midfielder area, then I would suggest the first limit break for Levin. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, like it. If you disliked it, fuck it, right? Leave down in the comments below if you want to talk about these guys more. Visit our Reddit, Tsubasa and DT, to talk more about them too, if you want to talk there. We'll talk soon about that new soda that comes out in Monday, so yeah, that video will probably be around Tuesday. Yeah, see you then and take care, bye.